Hi there, welcome to Rich Rabbit. Today we're going to talk about Naomi Osaka, who just won her third Grand Slam, beating former number one Victoria Azarenka in the US Open final. Osaka was born in, Osaka, Japan. Funny if Brad Pitt was born in Pittsburgh, but that's not who we are discussing here today. Back to Osaka. Naomi's father, Leonard Francois, is Haitian and her mother, Tamaki Osaka, is Japanese. The family moved to the Long Island, New York, when Naomi was only 3 years old. Her father was inspired by watching the Williams sisters play at the 1999 French Open. Having little exposure towards the sport of tennis, Francois began the tennis training of his two daughters. Training his children in the US, Francois and his wife decided their daughters would always play for Japan. Her sister Marie Osaka is also a professional tennis player. Later, his younger daughter turned out to be the only Japanese Grand Slam singles champion. Osaka's route to the top was highly unusual. Unlike most tennis players who have to pass through the ITF junior circuit first before trying their hands on stronger and more experienced opponents. She only took part in a few junior tournaments before heading straight for the ITF women's circuit. On her 14th birthday, she played her first qualifying match and then made her debut alongside Marie, her elder sister, in a doubles tournament. At the ITF level, she was able to reach the final in 4 separate tournaments, but could go no further than the runner-up position. In September 2013, just before her 16th birthday, she played her first 2 qualifying rounds for 2 separate WTA tours, and it was the start of her professional career. By the summer of 2014, Naomi qualified for the main draw of the WTA and scored her first major upset against Samantha Stosur, who was the world's number 19 at the time. Naomi was just 16 years old and was number 406 in the world rankings when she beat Stosur. Her second victory as a wild card in the Japan Women's Open saw her rise into the top 250. The following year saw her reach 2 finals in the ITF. And even though she didn't win, her performance was enough to see her rankings rise, to the point of qualifying for her first singles Grand Slam events in the US Open. She won her first qualifying match but couldn't pull through to the main draw and finished the year as number 144 in the world rankings. By 2016, she was competing in 3 tournaments in Australia, and her great performances saw her move a lot closer to the top 100, which qualified her for every WTA Tour event that season. She finally qualified for her first main draw event at the Grand Slam of the Australian Open and made it to the 3rd round, even beating Elina Svitolina, who was number 21 at the time, before losing to world's number 16 Victoria Azarenka. Osaka then had 2 wins as a wild card in the Miami Open, with one of those victories against Sara Errani. These victories over top opponents were enough to see Naomi break into the top 100. She reached her first WTA final and caused 3 major upsets, most notably against Dominika Cibulkova. She was now in the top 50, with the WTA naming her Newcomer of the Year. She also had some big results in 2017 that helped her maintain her rankings. Osaka got to the round of 16 at the Canadian Open and upset Anastasia Sevastova before having to retire against world number 1 Karolina Pliskova after sustaining an abdominal injury despite winning a set. She did compete in Wimbledon and the US Open, reaching the 3rd round of both Grand Slams, beating Barbara Strykova and Angelique Kerber in Wimbledon and the US Open respectively. Seeing that her progress had stagnated, Osaka fired her coach and hired Sasha Bain in the off-season. Her performance quickly improved. She got to the 4th round of the Australian Open Grand Slam for the first time, defeating 2 top 20 players along the way. Then, she won her first professional title at the Indian Wells Open, beating 2 out of the top 5 in the world rankings. Her very convincing title win pushed her to number 22. The middle of the season was a quiet one for Osaka, falling out in the third round of both tournaments in Wimbledon and the French Open. Her second title of the year came at the Grand Slam of the US Open, where she worked her way to victory in the final against her idol, Serena Williams. With that victory, she became the first Japanese and the first Asian, male or female, to win a Grand Slam singles tournament. What next? Well, she repeated that landmark again by beating Victoria Azarenka last week in the finals of the US Open. Not much is known about Osaka's personal life, as she is a very shy person and doesn't really talk to the media about her personal life. Osaka currently lives in Beverly Hills and considers her elder sister Marie to be her biggest rival on the tennis court. Osaka earned $37.4 million the last 12 months from prize money and endorsements, $1.4 million more than Serena, setting an all-time earnings record for a female athlete in a single year. Maria Sharapova previously held the record with $29.7 million in 2015. Osaka ranks number 29 among the 100 highest paid athletes, while Williams is number 33. It's the first time since 2016 that two women have made the ranks of the 100 highest paid athletes. The ascension puts an end to a decisive winning streak for Williams, who has been the world's highest paid female athlete each of the past 4 years, with annual pre-tax income ranging from $18 million to $29 million. The 23-time Grand Slam champion has collected almost $300 million during her career from endorsers that have swarmed the 38-year-old star. The last top-earning female athlete outside of Williams and Sharapova was Serena's sister Venus in 2003. Tennis remains the only route for women to rank alongside the top-paid male sports stars. Sharapova, Lena, Serena Williams, and now Osaka are the only women to rank among the 100 top earners in sports since 2012. The highest paid female athlete every year since Forbes started tracking the data in 1990 has been a tennis player, with Steffi Graf and Martina Hingis the top earners for most of the 90s. Tennis players are walking billboards in the only major global sport where men and women have some level of equality in their paychecks, thanks to similarly sized audiences tuning in to watch tournaments. Prize money at the 4 Grand Slam events has been even since 2007, although men still earn more at lower-level tourneys. Steering Osaka's brand is powerhouse tennis agency IMG, which leaned on its history with breakout female tennis stars when Osaka started blowing up, having represented Sharapova and Lee. Stuart DeGuid is her lead agent at IMG. Osaka also secured an extremely rare but lucrative provision in her Nike contract. The sportswear giant always requires its tennis players to be clad in Nike gear from head to toe without any other logos on their shirts or hats. This is lucrative real estate for marketers because cameras focus closely on the player as they serve or get set to return the serve. Nike never made an exemption for Williams, Sharapova, John McEnroe, Andre Agassi, or any of the other marketable tennis stars in its stable. The only exception until last year was China's Lee. Osaka became the second thanks to a massive leverage with Sharapova headed for retirement and Williams turning 39 this year. Osaka now has 15 endorsement partners, including global brands like Nissan Motor, Shiseido, and Yonex, whose tennis rackets she has used for more than a decade. Almost all are worth 7 figures annually. With plenty of endorsement cash, Osaka partnered with several brands last year, with significant equity components, including emerging sports drink Body Armor and Hyperice, which makes recovery and movement products. Last year, Osaka bought Nick Jonas's Beverly Hills house for $6.9 million. Located high in the mountains above Beverly Hills in a semi-remote corner of the LA neighborhood known as Beverly Hills Post Office, Jonas's former Benedict Canyon area residence sits on a ridge overlooking the surrounding peaks. Inside, the home is blessedly free of excess glitz and chintz, though the crisply lined decor never feels too austere or clinical in the way other boxy contemporaries often can. Decadent Mashish hardwood adorns many of the walls and satisfyingly contrasts with the white oak floors. In the expansive great room, an eye-catching hermitite fireplace and formal dining area are visually enhanced by the vast open space the elevated clear-story roof and walls of glass afford. Other interesting rooms in the 4,000-plus square foot structure include a devotedly minimalist kitchen that is nothing if not case study house-esque. Then there's a library/family room combo hidden behind the great room that includes bookshelves and a giant flat-screen TV, plus a master suite with canyon views and spa-like bathroom. Unlike other tennis stars, Osaka is not a big spender and quite shy about her personal life. According to reports, she is also not a big fan of fancy cars, but in 2018, Nissan announced a limited edition version of the R35 GTR, acknowledging the company's new partnership with tennis Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka. She recently opted out of French Open due to her knee injury, just a week after winning her third Grand Slam. The 22-year-old had her left hamstring wrapped in tape when she beat Azarenka in the final at Flushing Meadows. But despite all the injury problems, we know that she can be the greatest of all time, keeping in mind the fact how young and extraordinarily talented she is. She's definitely going to make some good money out of sports, and it's not long when we will see her name in the top 10 of Forbes athletes list. Thank you for watching the video. If you like our content, do subscribe to Rich Rabbit and don't forget to click the bell icon. We have plenty of other interesting videos on our channel, so hey, do watch out for them as well.